Hey guys, I'm going to start by showing you guys how to do some fun things in Photoshop. So I thought I would just do a quick screen recording on what I would do to help you guys out. So first we're going to find a fruit for fruit face, and I have picked a pineapple. You're going to right click, copy the image, or you can control click and then you can do the same thing, copy the image. Make sure you set up a 8.5 by 11, so file new, document. This is in Photoshop, and you're going to make sure you do 8.5 by 11 and 250 resolution is fine, and RGB color is fine because this is what color happens in on the internet, so RGB is fine. So you create that. And then you're going to paste your Command V to paste it into the document, and just make it as big as you want it. I'm going to leave it that big. And then you're going to go and open your photo. Now remember to use your photo. If you have permission from somebody else, you can use theirs as well, but use your photo. So I'm going to use my face right now, and I'm just going to click and I'm going to drag over and then drag down to add that to the document, and you see that right there. Now you need your face to fit in the area of the fruit. So you're going to take the opacity down slightly so you can see the fruit behind it, and then you're going to hit Command T. And then you want this to distort a little bit so you can fit the chin and the forehead and everything around it. So you're going to hit Option Shift, and this allows you to distort. See how that's distorting? Because this is going to be something fun, we want the face to distort, and that's why we have the opacity down so you can see it. So I want to come in just a little bit on the sides there to make it fit, and then you can come to the side here to make it go wider. So it's just supposed to be fun, so you want your face to kind of fill that area. You push enter. So the next stage is you want to create a clipping path, which is this, hang on, this I call a Japanese flag, and see how on that layer it created this white box. What we're going to do is go over here and see how it's white and black in your fill color. You're going to flip it to black, and then you're going to hit Command Delete. Option Delete. So you're going to hit Option Delete, and then it's going to fill it black. What that does is it's still there, but it gets rid of it. So then you can go back in with your brush tool, hit B for brush tool up here, and then you're going to flip this again to make it white, and then you're just going to bring back in the face right where, just follow the line of the pineapple. And you're just going to keep going until, smoothness. So make sure your opacity, flow, and smoothness is all the way up, and then when you go to the brush tool, make sure your hardness is all the way down right here. And then you're going to go back in and just make sure that is all. So my opacity is still down, that's why it looks like that. So we'll bring that all the way back up and see now my full face is back in there. So you can go back in and just kind of fill in the spots that are missing. Now we're going to change the color of our face before we duplicate it. So to do that, we're going to do what's called an adjustment layer. So we'll go back and click on just the face right there, and then right here where my arrow is where the adjustment layers are, and you're going to go and hit color balance, and then it creates this layer above it. So it's going to affect the color and anything behind it. So what we're going to do is right click and hit clipping mask again, and see now there's this little arrow that goes into that picture and allows it to just affect that layer. So then we're going to just adjust the layer. I'm going to go a little more yellow and green just to kind of blend in with the color of the pineapple, add a little more red maybe, just whatever looks good to you, whatever fruit you're deciding to use. And then you can use that little eyedropper to on and off to see the progress. Some other options you might be able to do is some levels just to kind of bring out some of the black in it. So you can go to levels and then you can kind of play with, again, it's affecting both layers, so if you drag it down below that arrow, then it won't be. So, and then you can kind of play with the levels and darkening how that looks. So I kind of like that. So now you're going to select your face, the adjustment layers, and then you're going to right click and hit merge layers, and now you're one layer. And then you're going to duplicate that layer. So there's 2 layers of your fruit face. Hit OK. So now you have 2 layers. So the top layer, you are going to add an adjustment layer, or a, I don't even know what this is called, but you're going to add an overlay. Now it didn't do much because it still has this underneath it, so you're going to hit an opacity. So now you can start seeing the pineapple through that and see that texture, that it looks more like a pineapple. So you need both layers because this layer has the overlay on it. So if you don't have that, the opacity is too light. So this one just has an opacity brought down, and if you don't have that, you can't see your face. So see how that builds on top of each other to make it look more like a fruit. So you can play with the balance between those two, but that's an easy way to create a unique Photoshop document with someone's faces as we learn to do this for 10th grade visits. This is just something fun for you to do, and now I am a pineapple. So if you have any questions, come up and see me. Thanks. Bye.